That thin air can be a silent predator. Lungs will burn, the ball flies faster and truer through the thin atmosphere, and sports scientists have openly warned that players will tire significantly quicker than usual. And to complicate matters, tonight marks the absolute beginning of the local wet season. We are expecting rain today, there are heavy clouds overhead, and the humidity is pushing the temperature to well above the feeling of the 22 degrees at pitch side. The Czech FA opted to establish their tournament base in low-altitude Dallas, Texas, which means their squad have to fly and adapt to the thin Mexican air on short notice. Well, the storylines cutting through this fixture are fascinating, filled with internal turmoil, administrative chaos and historical ghosts, beginning with South Korea, a consistent Asian powerhouse. They're making their 11th straight appearance at this level. On paper, the pedigree is unquestionable, but beneath the surface, the Taeguk Warriors are a camp under immense strain. Following the administrative failure of Jurgen Klinsmann's short-lived tenure, the KFA turned to legendary 2002 captain Hong Myung-bo, an appointment met with fierce selection controversies, leaving Hong to operate without the vital oxygen of media or public support. He's a man desperately chasing redemption as well. The last time he managed at this level, in Brazil 2014, his side crashed out in a dismal, winless group stage. Contrast that with Czechia, a footballing nation returning to the absolute pinnacle of international football for the first time in 20 long years. Their journey here has been a wild, dramatic ride. They were forced into the European playoffs after a humiliating qualification loss to the Pharaohs cost their previous manager his job. Enter Miroslav Kubek, at 74 years old, who becomes the oldest manager ever to take charge of a game at this level. He spent his 50s working as an insurance broker while coaching in the lower leagues. He's modernised his squad using data analytics and a dry sense of humour, guiding them through two dramatic penalty shootout triumphs over the Republic of Ireland and Denmark to seal their ticket. They arrive with their own internal scars, the squad recovering from a massive captaincy scandal. Thomas Souček was stripped of the armband right before the tournament after the players collectively failed to thank their travelling fans following a victory over Gibraltar. The FA publicly condemned the squad, and the hard-tackling defender Ladislav Krejci was handed the captaincy. Well, the team sheets have been submitted, and the tactical battle lines are officially drawn. The South Korean manager Hong Myung-bo has indeed committed to the gamble, deploying a fluid 3-4-3 formation after deploying a back four throughout qualifying. Kim Seung-kyu starts between the sticks, winning his personal decade-long battle with Jo Hyun-woo for the #1 shirt. Bayern Munich's defensive rock Kim Min-jae helms the back three, flanked by the young imposing Lee Han-byom on his right and the left-footed wildcard selection Lee Ki-hyuk on his left. In midfield, the wing-back slots, the incredible versatile Seo Yong-woo patrols the right flank, while Lee Tae-seok, mirror image of his 2002 hero father, starts on the left, wearing his dad's iconic number 13. Centrally, the engine room is staffed by the gifted Park Sing-hyo, alongside Feyenoord's key man Hwang In-beom. Up front, the supply line features the technical brilliance of Paris Saint-Germain's Lee Kang-in and the tireless, intelligent movement of Mainz legend Lee Jae-sung. They'll support the spearhead, the icon, the captain, Son Heung-min. Miroslav Kubek mirrors the shape as they get underway in Guadalajara. He matches his opponents with an aggressive, towering 3-4-3 lineup. Playoff hero Maciej Kovar gets the nod in goal, fresh off his Dutch title success as part of that PSV Eindhoven squad, even if he did play a significant portion of the season at Bayer Leverkusen. The back three anchored by the disciplined Robin Hranats, flanked by the uncompromising Stepan Chalupek on the left and the newly appointed captain, Wolves defender Ladislav Krejci on the right. The veteran Vladimir Sofal brings Premier League experience to the right wing-back position, balanced by Jaroslav Zeleny on the left. In the centre of the pitch, the stripped captain Thomas Souček starts alongside a big old wild card, 23-year-old Alexander Sojka, who was handed a sensational competitive international debut after only earning his first call-up in recent pre-tournament friendlies. The creative engine driven by Lyon's rising star Pavel Schulz and the pacey Lukasz Provod, they'll look to feed the main weapon, Bayer Leverkusen's elite finisher, Patrick Schick, who leads the line in red-hot form. And it is the Czechs with the first attacking foray down this left-hand side. Krejci, the ball into the penalty area, prodded away by the South Korean defence on the edge of the 18-yard box. And it'll just bounce out towards that far side, but it'll stay in play. The stadium announcers were roaring the national anthems echoed around this wonderful ground. The final handshakes exchanged with the pleasantries you'd expect of this particular international tournament. Fascinated to see that tactical mirror, both 3-4-3s. But the execution of how they deploy these two different sides will be very different. Some of the question marks around the South Korean side involve how they drive, how they exploit some channels that might open up. The likes of Vladimir Sofal and Jaroslavleni, the two wing-backs at relatively old ages of 33. Pace may not be with them as it once was. Even this Korean side packed with international stars, stars from Europe, stars of the past as well. The glittering career of Heung-min Son coming towards its conclusion now with LAFC. Still a real threat going forward. Referee for tonight is Mohamed Amin of Egypt. Launched forward by Shin-Kyu Kim. Picked up in the middle of the park by Sung-Ho Paik. Here's Kim Min-jae of Bayern Munich. Put forward by Lee. On the left-hand side, here is Son, the captain. Those two will be very familiar with each other after their years of battle in London derbies. Vladimir Sofal, formerly of West Ham United, got across to do the defending. The offside flag goes up on Heung-min Son though, so will be a free kick for the Czechs in the right back position. Korea today in red shirts, black shorts and red socks. The Czechs all in white this evening. Koa with the long ball forward, looking for Patrick Schick. All the way through to Sung-Kyu Kim. Here's Ham-Yong Lee in the right corner of the penalty area. Another long ball pumped forward towards Heung-min Son. They've set their stall out early here, South Korea. We'll try and let the ball do the movement, as that's an aerial delivery in reply by Wolverhampton Wanderers Ladislav Krejci. How long he remains a Wolves player after their relegation from the Premier League remains to be seen. A big summer ahead for young Krejci. Up forward on the right hand side. Zeleny across. Just hit that out of play under pressure from Seo Young-woo. The throw will be South Korea's, level at the edge of the penalty area down this right hand side. It's going to be taken by Seo Young-woo, the Red Star Belgrade player. To Serbia in 2024. He can play either flank, centre back, and in central midfield. Earlier in his career, he was dogged by consistent dislocated shoulder injuries. Those seem to have been cleared up after a surgery 2 years ago now. It's become quite an important part of Minbo Hong's side. Whereas the number 66 at club level, for England supporters, it's all in tribute to that famous trophy win at Wembley all those years ago. It's in dedication to his father's birth year. Is Ham-Yu. There's PSG's Kang In Lee. Hwang In-byeon. Swept out to the left-hand side by Kang In Lee. Drilled in towards the near post, so it was a diving header. It was Kalopek who just flicked it away. They were looking for Jae-Sung Lee. Over 100 caps for his club, his country. Despite that slender frame, he really is an aerial specialist. He scores a significant number of headers. Here's Kova. Lifted away left-footed from the edge of his 6-yard box. That's a big old leap from Lee Han-byum. Ball drops into midfield. Here's Thomas Souček, just outside the centre circle. Schleicher. Plovod. To Krejci. Souček. Plovod. Won't squeeze that past Han-byum. Very combative start from the Koreans. Recognise that at the tail of the tape they probably are out-muscled by the Czechs tonight. Intimidated South Korea. There's been a lot of talk about this tournament, build up, the preparation, the controversies, the visas, the players, the officials, the organisation. Sure, sport, football is finally underway, and we do really hope now that the action will do all the talking from now right the way through into July. We will crown another global champion. It's a free kick. Krejci, just a little shove on Lee Kang-in. It's clever work from the PSG winger. First set piece for South Korea. This one in a decent position, 35 or so yards from goal. Close to this right-hand side. Kovar trying to organise his defence. They're out on the edge of the 18-yard box at the moment. It's left to Heung-min Son. Not the best delivery from the LAFC man. They'll try and recycle the ball though here, Korea. Jae-sung. Plovod. Kicks it away. Towards the edge of the Czech box. Souček will get it away. Just keeping the ball in the Czech half of the pitch at the moment, the Koreans. 12th World Cup appearance for South Korea. It's the most of any Asian nation. It's their 11th consecutive appearance, but if you go back to their 1986 debut, they've only won 7 out of 38 matches at this tournament. Vast majority came in that remarkable run 24 years ago when they were co-hosts with Japan, semi-finalists as well. A little bit of controversy. They've got a corner here as well. They've been pinning Czechs back for the past 4 or 5 minutes. Opportunity for Kim Min-jae to get forward. The towering Bayern Munich centre-back. There'll be a word from Mohamed Amin, the referee. There's a particular directive about how to defend these corners, attack these corners as well. They will give short shift, early pushing, shoving, grappling in the penalty areas. That's whipped in by Lee Kang-in, left-footed towards the near post. The best of deliveries. There's Plovod on the end of it. Jae-sung out to the left-hand side. Another relatively simple cross for Kawata Game. That's just going to bounce away from Chalopek on that far side. Pockets of Korean and Czech supporters around this stadium in Guadalajara, but there really are vast swathes of green. This is a country that loves its football. Lee Kang-in, lovely ball in behind. Jae-sung Lee's touch took it backwards, and Heung-min Son on the follow-up. Well, he struck a Czech defender. It's out of play for a corner, but how about that for a pass from Lee Kang-in from right in the heart of the Czech mid half of the pitch. Lee Jae-sung has just stolen a yard in behind Hranats, but his touch goes backwards. Corner taken short, whipped it there towards the back post. What a bad effort from Lee Han-byum. Rose well, career number 2 with Hranats, and it was just a foot over the crossbar. They started the better of the two sides, the Koreans. Lee Kang-in escaping a couple of challenges, finds a way through to Son. Lee Tae-seok. Here's Lee Jae-sung. Xing-ho. Lee Tae-seok. In-byum. Kim Min-jae. Another pass. Lee Kang-in from range, pushed away by Kavar. And that'll bounce over the byline for another Korean corner. He's been the star of the game so far, the PSG man. Caught it really well with his left and forces Kavar into a decent save there. Comfortable height for the Czech number 1. Reports about this ball being used in the tournament, that you can weave around in the air. Memories of the Japalani from South Africa in 2010. I'll go short. Again, lovely ball across the 6-yard line. Nicely worked move from the corner. The Czechs had just enough bodies in the way though, causing them real problems already, South Korea. Here's Lee Hyuk, and that's a slip on the far side. And now the Czechs have it in a dangerous position. Into Shik in the near post. It's off Kim Min-jae, and that'll be a corner. Here's Lukasz Provo who capitalised. Lee Ji-hyuk lost the ball in an awkward position, but Kim Min-jae smells the danger, gets across in front of Patrick Schick. Can't get his shot on target, but they do have this corner kick. And it's so foul. High towards the back post. Hung up there towards Yaroslav Zeleny. They've got it away, and now here's Lee Kang-in. Ball over the top, Heung-min Son racing onto it. Flag will stay down for the moment. A little hand in the back was there, and the referee agrees. There'll be a free kick. And Czech players felt that it was offside. It was Schultz that made the challenge, and it's pretty clear as well. Really out of position there, Pavel Schultz. The last delivery from this sort of position wasn't the best from Heung-min Son. Here's Kang-in Lee and his captain Son standing over the ball at the moment. This one a bit closer to goal though, slightly further away. They've got the angle to try and whip this across Kavar's goal. Son runs away from it. Lee Kang-in, too high, too wide, and another one that'll bounce out of play and behind for a goal kick. 16 minutes gone in Guadalajara, still no goals between Korea and the Czech Republic. It's an eye-catching game already. Again, that's another loose touch. It's time for Alexander Saika. Sees the ball handed back to South Korea. Kim Seung-gyu. It's lost by Seo. Nakaishi. Just tiptoeing his way tentatively into Korea's half of the pitch. It's Kim Min-jae. Whips it away, looks on the direct route to Lee Jae-sung. Battling there with Franats. Finds Heung Min Son. Now Provod on the left-hand side, midway through Korean territory. Right, the flag is up. Sharp already, the officials. This time, Mahmoud Regal with his flag up. That was pretty clear. You'd be surprised if he got that one wrong, the assistant referee. And on the other side, Ahmed Hossam Taha. Fourth official, Juan Calderon of Costa Rica. And the VAR tonight, Mahmoud Ashur. We hope it's a quiet night. According to the official statistics, it's in all South Korea so far, 64% possession. 10% of it is in contest. It's a statistic you don't often see, but does rear its head in this particular tournament. It's Kreichi. Lofted down the left-hand side. Provod fouled on the halfway line. Already breathing heavily, Kim Min-jae. A physical challenge. Arm in the back of the neck of Lukasz Provod. Sort of 10 players who have been supplied to the national side by Slavia Prague. It's the most of any team in the tournament for one international team. It's Zeleny. Have to work it backwards. Cover. Go long. Tae-seok. Good bounce to the ball in front of Hwang In-byum. Zeleny. Off on the edge of the box by Schick. Diagonal ball towards the back post. It was Vladimir Sofal who wins the corner. Lee Tae-seok. The final touch. It's a clever ball. It was Sofal with a touch onto the rear of Lee Tae-seok. Sofal with the outswinger. Decent ball. It was attacked by Schick, but thumped away as well by Sung-ho Paik. Ranach. Back to cover. Sofal down the right-hand side. Starting to get a bit of a foothold here, the Czechs. That's another corner. They've all really come from that down that right-hand side. Vladimir Sofal will walk away from this one. Schick will be a target, of course, as will likes of Thomas Souček. Defenders making the way up for the back. Sojka swings it in towards the near post. This time they did get on the end of it, the Czechs. Thomas Souček left with his head in his hands. I think he just saw it too late. There's a couple of men running across his line of vision there. It's really hit Souček more than the other way around, and maybe a better chance than he first thought. Ball downfield, sliding in goes Heung-min Son in the Czech left-back position. He forced a turnover near halfway. Buum fouled by Lukas Provod, and the referee has decided to blow the whistle and signals to the touchline with these hot, humid temperatures. It's the first hydration break of the game, the thick humidity of Guadalajara's wet season. Lungs are burning out there. As we said, it's over 1,600 metres above sea level. Physical toil of this thin mountain air in Guadalajara, an immediate factor for both sets of players. Hong Myung-bo, this pause gives him a real opportunity to praise his players for their bright start to the game, remind them of their responsibilities. This 3-4-3 system isn't the most comfortable for them. They were originally playing in the back four all through qualifying. It's a structural gamble, but it seems to be paying off so far. They've been open, suggesting that there's been a lack of preparation time and a shortage of natural high-level wing-backs within the squad. Opening 20 minutes was always going to be an intense test of tactical cohesion. It's also an opportunity to remind you that you can tune into this on your local broadcasters, wherever they are. Or flip on the television if you're able to and match up the pictures to our live audio commentary. Or independently produced official commentary of the globe's biggest international tournament. Miroslav Kubek, the frown on his face as he gets his tactical board out, has a little word with his charges. They've got this physical advantage today, and they've started to show that a little with the corners. Of course, a little bit surprised by the energy deployed by the South Koreans. Back on the pitch and ready to restart with this free kick. 10 yards away from the centre circle. It's Hang Buum, who is just hovering over it. Hang Buum, it's a ball in behind for Seo Yong-woo. The flag goes up. Czech Republic wanted to take that quickly, the referee will pull it back. Well, Schultz it was. It's really sharp from Jaroslav Zeleny to step up just in the nick of time. Well, Pavel Schultz is being asked to head off to the sidelines. I'm not sure he was quite aware that his shirt was essentially dangling off of him. It's a huge patch of it that's just been torn right through the 5 with the number 15 on the back of his uniform. We're going to have to change it now. A bit of a delay. Quickly handed a fresh shirt by the Czech kickman. Joint top scorer for Lyon this season. Caught the eye in Liga and Czech Football of the Year, Pavel Schultz. It's super opaque, moves it away. Souček not too heavy on his pass forward. Ends up at the feet of Kim Sing-gyu. Here's Lee Han-byum. Put forward by Kwang Yin-byum. Zeleny. Just to fire it forward to Schick. Not control that pass. Sing-Yu Kim, the Korean goalkeeper, forward. Lee Kang-in. Yin-byum. Han-byum. Lee Hyuk. Han-byum. Lee Kang-in. Little drop of the shoulder. It's a good challenge by Schultz. A lovely pirouette by Yin-byum. He's looking for Hyun-min Song. Poked away by Robin Kranats there. Clever play by Schultz. Just got his body across the path of the ball and draws the foul from Lee Han-byum. Soika sends that towards the far side of the penalty area. Opaque. Back towards the edge of the box, aimed at Schultz. There's Kleichi. Opek. Soika. That's a lot of Kalopek to get across. Keeps it in play though. Down the right hand side for Radomir Sofal. Lee Hyuk. His legs taken out from under him. A little bit clumsy from Sofal. Kim Sing-yu on the left-hand side. So far said that Son tried to turn his man. Wants the free kick. He's pretty angry. The referee's denied his request. Here's Zerny. Back inside to Schultz. And give and go with Soucek. Well, Schultz finds Provod. Sofal. Provod. Krejci on the left edge of the centre circle. Sofal again coming up on that right hand side. For a moment it looked like he was going to be dispossessed. Eventually it's bounced off Soucek, or was it Provod? It was. Final touch off Provod, another South Korean throw-in. Han-byum. It's Kim Sing-yu. And sails all the way almost towards the opposite 18-yard box. Towards the far side. Again, it was aimed towards Radomir Sofal, who's playing more as a winger than a wing back. He's been a decent target. Krejci. Forward by Kranats. Aimed at Schick. Straight up in the air from Schultz, but for a moment Kim Seung-gyu was worried that was going to dip underneath his crossbar, and he ends up on the roof of the net. A quick start from the Koreans, but the chances have dried up since. Bit of a stalemate at the moment in Guadalajara. The only side in Asian qualification for this tournament to go unbeaten were South Korea. They scored 40, only conceded 8 in the process, but build up to the tournament proper. The warm-up games have been a mixed bag. Some damaging defeats to the likes of Brazil. Some encouraging ones. Fellow hosts, the United States of America, lost 2-0 to this Korean side. If I hope the USA, the senior partner of the trio of hosts, Mexico and Canada, of course, making up that triumvirate of those nations. Question of the passionate support of this game south of the border here in Mexico, but the United States of America still very much a secondary sport. Canada too. Do wonder. "32 years after this tournament was last in the United States of America, although it really will ignite the fire for football." His son got a little turn. Finds Lee Jae-sung, looks for the return pass. Lee shot Seok. Opened up nicely. This Heung-min Son doing what his former club colleague Harry Kane does so often for England, dropping into deep positions and taking on the role of playmaker rather than goal scorer. Almost come up the door for the South Korean side there. Kova flung down the left-hand side. Lee Tae-seok will meet it with his head. Drops Lee Han-byun. Here's Seo. He's off the ball by Lucas Plovod. Banach finds Sofal. Soika. Clever from the 23-year-olds. Drags Lee Tae-seok into a awkward position, but he was always heading over the touchline and was guided into the advertising hoardings in the end by the Korean wingback. Sochek loses out. Kang In Lee can't make the most of it. It's picked off on the edge of the penalty area by Kim Min-jae. More of a clearance to the forward pass, and there's that great sheet. So neat and tidy. Wants it back to Kovar and gets it back immediately. Step down the left-hand side. Schultz tussling for it. There's Plovod. No space for the cross at the moment. Zeleny. Great shoot fed by Sochek. Provod, now a bit more space for Zeleny. High towards the back post, Schick with the header down. It's just over Schultz's head, and Kim Min-jae can get it away. Sofal flicks it backwards towards the edge of the penalty area, tried to juggle it. As Lee Jae-sung close to him, and he caught an errant toe. Soft one, to say the least. themselves a throw in deep inside. Check half of the pitch again, Korea. Take shock. Byum. Kim Min-jae in the centre circle. Steered round the corner for Pike. Going in as well. Followed by Krejci, who almost doing that marking job on the Paris Saint-Germain attacker. Hyuk. Coming in. Space for Son into the penalty area from range. It was their first effort for quite some time. And that one's over the crossbar. There's a real fan club in this stadium, Heung-min Son. Not really many other options than to just take it on there. He's just 2 goals short of the all-time goal-scoring record for South Korea. Put it past him, reaching that mark in this tournament. Especially if the Koreans can make it out of this Group A and into the knockout phases of the tournament. Zilani. Sharp play by Kim Min-jae, wins it back now. Here's Heung-min Son. Runners around him. Heung-min Son. He's going to take it on himself. Song Hyun-min tries to curl it. Couple of chances now for the former Tottenham striker. That one was wide, but narrowly so. It just opened up for him. The runners in front of him just took defenders with him. Clever, unselfish from Lee Jae-sung. Touch to set him up, just got caught under his feet. He can't quite generate the whip he needs to cause Kovar any real problems there. There's another free kick just outside the centre circle for South Korea. It's the latest in a line of fouls committed by Vladimir Sofal. Awkward one there for Tae-suk. Byum. Here's Hwang In-byum. He's searching for Heung-min Son. Socek, frustrated. He was stretching to get a toe to it. And Lucas Povol, I think, he's just caught his heels a little there. Gesture of real frustration from Thomas Socek. There's another whose future looks a little unclear. Ham United relegated from the Premier League on the final day of the season, just a few weeks ago now. I do wonder whether he will follow the same route as his former West Ham United colleague Vladimir Sofal. Move on. Sofal now at Hoffenheim in Germany. Set piece. Best delivery. Poke on the edge of the penalty area. That's not a bad ball towards the back post. Lewis Huku gets it away. Recycled back into the mixer. Kim Min Jae got a toe to the ball. Still can't quite clear the danger. Here's Soika. So foul. Has to go backwards to Soika again. Steer down the right-hand side. Ball back to the edge of the box. Schultz just missed. Out to the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Lee Kang-in can't get there in front of Zeleny. It's meandering into a central position. It's worked out to Sofal again on the right-hand side. Soika it was to lay it off. Kleichi. Kranach. Out towards Provod. No foul, says the referee. Mite Shuk. There's no complaints. He stayed down there as well, the number 13. That is a foul by Kranach on Kim Min Son, just on the edge of the centre circle, inside the Korean half of the pitch. And they will pause and just go and check on Mite Shuk. 23-year-old, plays his football for Wien in Austria. It was a hefty challenge from Provod. Here's Schill, right-hand side, chops back onto his left, clips one into the penalty area. Flicked away by Zeleny. Here's Kim Min Jae. Hyuk. Pike. That's good from Jason Lee. Tae-seok. Hwang Byum. So the early pass towards Young Woo-seul. Foul again, good challenge from Kleichi. That's clever from Schultz. Can he get it back? No, he can't. Not too much space down that left-hand side. Alexander Soika to play in to. Woo-seul just going to take the throw in for South Korea. Some tired legs out there already. Close clearance. Zeleny. Czech style of play. We'll find out how much added time we're going to move into now at the end of this first half. It's 3 minutes of added time. Now Shaf Zeleny. Sochek, Zeleny, the long ball forward. Byum leading the way. Korea in possession with Hwang Byum. Peik. So a little step over, edge of the penalty area. Can they create a chance here? There's a pull back, and Son slipped just at the wrong moment. 7 or 8 yards from goal. Looked to tap in for him. Still might be a chance. Kim Min Jae getting forward. Tae-seok. High towards the back post. There's Kleichi. So Young-woo. Yang Buum. Huang. So Shock has to get back to keep it in play. Huang. Son. Peik. Peik. Lovely ball. Here he is. Space. Sliding in. Soika. Brilliant defending. Prevents the corner as well. They can't clear the danger. Here's Huang. Son holds it up. Huang again from a long, long way out. And that one clears the crossbar. Cleared by Kovar. Goal kick. The referee blows the whistle for half-time. South Korea have been eye-catching at times. They've caused problems for the Czech defence. As we expected, their best chances, Czechia and the Czech Republic, whichever way you want to refer to them, they've relied on their set-piece prowess to cause South Korea the few problems they have experienced, but on the balance of play as they head into the tunnel for half-time, it'll be Jungbo Hong who is the happier of the two managers, but still no goals at half-time in this Group A clash. It is South Korea 0, Czech Republic 0.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
Well, two teams back out on the pitch in Guadalajara after an energy-sapping first 45 minutes that saw no goals, but plenty of action, most of it South Korean. Chances in and around the Czech penalty area. They were probably the dominant force in that first half, some quiet spells for the side led by Heung-min Son, who was at the heart of a couple of those. Lee Kang-in has been probably the player of the game thus far. Czech side with a couple of half chances of their own, the best really landing to Thomas Souček, even though he didn't know much about it, as you'd expect from a corner kick. As we prepare to get underway for this second half, still awaiting the first goal in this Group A encounter. You're listening to unofficial, independently produced commentary of this Group A clash in the globe's biggest international tournament. Big 45 minutes ahead, Mexico setting the standard in this group earlier on today with their win over South Africa. Can either of these two sides take charge of the game as they get back underway in this cauldron atmosphere in Guadalajara? We've touched on it a few times, but 1,600 metres above sea level, the air thinner, the pressure higher, the humidity, energy sapping as well. And we saw that a few times. Maybe that bright start from the South Koreans. Saw them just drift off the pace a little as that first half progressed. We've seen a few loose passes. One of the things that does surprise you a little when playing in these sort of conditions is the fact that the ball travels much further, much quicker than you perhaps expect. As stooping low goes Lee Heung. No changes at the break from either side, so as we started. For Korea, that's Kim Sing-gyu in goal. Back three of Lee Heung, Kim Min-jae and Lee Han-byum. Lee Tae-seok and Seo Young-woo, the two wing-backs. Park Seung-ho and Hwang In-byum, two midfielders. Heung-min Son, Lee Kang-in, who's been the star of the game as we've mentioned already, trying to offer support to Lee Jae-sung. The Czechs, it's Kovar in goal, Kalopek, Granats and captain Klejci, the three centre-backs. So far has probably been one of their more potent attackers down that right-hand side of wing-back. Jaroslav Zelený has struggled to make as much of an impact as the four West Ham man. Thomas Souček and Alexander Soyka, who's making his competitive debut this evening in the heart of midfield. Lucas Provo, Pavel Schulz, trying to provide the ammunition to a relatively isolated thus far Patrick Schick, who's just drawn the foul on the halfway line here out on the right-hand side. Fine goal-scoring season for Schick. 16 goals in the Bundesliga this season, 28 across all competitions for club and country. Scored 5 in qualification. This tournament in United States, Mexico and Canada. If you're so inclined, don't forget to tune in to your local TV broadcasters or streams, wherever you are. Stick up the audio commentary and enjoy this clash between South Korea. Got a corner here, the Czechs. On the far side, it will be an in-swinger from Sofal. In towards the near post, not a bad delivery. Kim Min-jae will just smuggle it away though. And here's Hwang In-byum, Son, surrounded 3 or 4 eventually. Almost the entire Czech team converged around the LAFC attacker. Granats. Wolves, Ladislav Klejci. Picked off Son. Lee Kang-in. Seo. To Bayern Munich's Kim Min-jae. Now Lee Jae-sung. Lee Heung getting forward from left back. Hwang, clever pass, making a chance, good save, not once but twice by Kovar. And Lee Jae-sung Couldn't tap home the rebound. It was swung in Bjorn, who almost set it up for Lee Kang-in there. It's the story of the first half. Lee Kang-in, instrumental in the middle of the park for South Korea. He's played a part in all their most threatening moves, juggled near halfway. That's good work from Zeleny. Now Provod tries the little reverse pass back to Zeleny, but too many around him, and it's carried away by Xiao Jung-woo. Good opportunity to have a look at that chance again. It was Lee Kang-in to Hwang In-byum. Draws the save from Kovar. Doesn't cover himself in glory initially. It's close to him, down low to his right. And he pushes it into the path of Lee Jae-sung. He saves with his legs. Kovar, the second time of asking. Keeps the game at a stalemate. Still goalless between Korea and Czechia. In this second game of the tournament, the second game in Group A. Here's Son driving forward. There's options around him as well. We'll use one of them. Lee Jae-seok. It comes to nothing in the end. Lee Jae-sung trying to play it across the 6-yard box, but a teammate that never arrived. The game will start to open up in a few minutes' time as those tired legs start to take hold again. The conditions continue to play their part in this contest. Pushed away by Lee Han-byum. Lee Kang-in, that's good for Heung-min Son. Edge of the penalty area. Trying to lay that off to Lee Jae-sung again. Clearance only finds Lee Tae-seok. Paik. Hwang. Paik. Hwang. Scoop for Paik. Plays that against Halapek. It's Kim Min-jae. Hyuk. Paik, left-hand side. Nico Hyuk. That's clumsy from Thomas Socek. Lee Jae-sung goes to ground. Free kick for South Korea. Over from Lee Jae-sung. Just slow down as he sensed Socek closing in. 2 hands in the back from the West Ham United midfielder. Across to the right-hand side. It's shot into their own half at the moment in Korea. Kim Min-jae. Hyuk. Into the middle. Tries to squeeze it through to Heung-min Son. Czech Republic able to pounce and break that up. Patrick Schick not happy with this referee's decision to give the throw into South Korea. It's in by Lee Tae-seok. Paik. Hwang's ball was charged down, but it will find its way through. It's Lee Jae-sung. Here's Lee Kang-in. Kim Min-jae. Take it cleanly. Kalapek is just possessed. He's gone hunting for the ball. Rusciol. Back to Hanbue. Jae-sung. Protecting it. Kang in. Kim Min-jae. Centre circle. All alone at the moment. Hyuk. Hwang. The ball trying to lift it over the top. Did Paik. Reversed by Jae-sung. Son! One on with the goalkeeper! Spreading himself really well, Kovar. Another big save. Another opportunity for South Korea. Goes begging. They'll settle for the corner, but probably should be the opener. It's lovely build-up play from South Korea on the edge of the penalty area. Just guides it through Lee Jae-sung, opens his body up, cushions it into the path of Heung-min Son, uses the outside of his right to take it with him. The left-footed effort can't quite get the elevation to dink it over Kovar. Kim Min-jae getting forward. Will be Son to deliver from the near side. The in-swinger with venom. Right into the heart of the 6-yard box. Flicked away it was by Thomas Soucek, and all the way out of play on the far side of the pitch. It's his first attempt on target. Heung-min Son is 6th in total of the game. Kim Min-jae, Hyuk, Lee Tae-seok, Kim Min-jae, a little bit of movement on the Czech bench, nothing so far from the Koreans. Paik, nice turn, just got away from it their own way. Kovar lashes it away, and it was Jae-sung Lee, Jae-sung I should say, swooping. It's off his chest, back in by Sofal quickly. Here's Schultz trying to work his way into the penalty area, into a bit of a cul-de-sac, lays it off to Sofal. That's a high-hanging ball deep towards the back post. Too high for Soika. Away by Xiao Yun-woo. Harashab Zerny. Long throw. Looking for Kleichi. Now a chance to cross! That's a really, really good ball. Soucek was there. He was attacking it. Could make the cleanest of contacts. Long throw from Sofal. There's the header, and there's the finish! It's Ladislav Krejci with a free run and powers it past Kim Seung-kyu. It's been intricate, it's been eye-catching, it's been attractive from South Korea. But sometimes it's the simplest of football that pays dividends. The Czechs take the lead, and it's Krejci again, the man of the moment, the captain. scored against the Republic of Ireland, scored against Denmark. He's just got a free run at it. There may well be a VAR check here. There's a player stood right in front of the goalkeeper. It's Lucas Provel, it seems. Korea goes zonal. Krejci gets a run straight through them. Well, they've cleared the goal. And in a season where long throws have defined so much of professional football at club level, it's Vladimir Sofal with the assist, with a rocket of a throw onto the forehead of Vladislav Krejci. And now it's South Korea chasing the game, a game that they've dominated. Well, as we expected, the Czechs are a towering threat from dead ball situations. Half of their goals in qualifying came from those sort of positions. Jae-Sung, that's an awkward one. He can't quite generate the power needed to test Kovar from that position. Lovely ball through. Kim Min-jae was stooping. Sofal with the ball in. Well, he's had to endure a tough season domestically with Wolves. Vladislav Krejci. He's 27 years old, the Czech captain. He's 28th cap tonight. Along comes his colleague. First change of the evening. And it's a South Korean one. Off goes Lee Jae-sung, and on comes Hwang Hee-chan. Will offer something different to Lee Jae-sung, much more stocky physical presence. Hwang Hee-chan will operate as one of those two attacking midfielders offering support to Heung-min Son. You have to feel for South Korea. Some really good chances. Bear with us because the Czechs are about to make 3 changes here. Off goes Pavel Sulc of Lyon. The triple change here. Patrick Schick is going to be withdrawn as well. And Lucas Provel, the entire front 3 departing, and they'll be replaced. Right, Adam Plozek, Thomas Colley, Mikhail Sadilek. Colley, 6'6". Tough one for Kim Min-jae to marshal in the heart of that Korean back line. They have a tendency to go relatively cheaply. Thomas Colley. A decent season though, 17 goals. for Slavia Prague this season. We recognise the name Adam Hložek. He's once regarded as the wonder kid of Czech football, now at 23, playing his football alongside Vladimir Sofal for Hoffenheim. Sidelined for a significant portion of this season, from January right the way through to April, with a calf injury. He's missed 16 games. For his national side in that period. Third change, Mikhail Sadlek, yet another Slavia Prague player coming on. Son. Lee Kang-in. Just inside onto his left, trying to find a bit of space to work his magic, but being marshalled well there by Thomas Souček. Hwang In-byom. Kim Min-jae. And Byom. Juk. Hwang Hee-chan dropping into midfield. Immediately compacted on the edge of their 18-yard box, the Czechs here. A wall of white. By Shin-ho. Hwang Hee-chan to Pike again. Hyuk. Looks for Hwang In-byom. Does get there. Hwang In-byom, brilliant! And there's the equaliser. Hwang In-byom kept his cool as he was slipped through, stopped the ball dead, and a delicate little dink over Kovar, and we're all square. Intricate, attacking, intelligent football from the Koreans that's been on show since the word go tonight. His first goal for his country since 2023. So clever from Hwang In-byom. Thanach to Kovar, sent to another postcode, takes his time, stops the ball, lifts it over the goalkeeper, Ladislav Krejci. Goes racing after it to try and prevent it from dribbling over the line. A brilliant piece of skill from Hwang In-byom. It's their 13th attempt of the match. And the Czechs peg back. Korea are going to respond with a couple of changes. Off goes Lee Tae-sok and Son Heung-min. And on comes Oh Hyun-kyu. And Yong-Ji-Soo of Swansea City as well to add to the attacking numbers. And the referee blows the whistle for another hydration break. On the approach of both sides, pretty much what we expected. The Czechs physical, using their set piece now to open the scoring. Career technical and pretty brilliant as well. They would have felt pretty hard done by not to have got on the score sheet tonight. But the way in which they did was right out of their playbook. Hwang In-byum, one of their more experienced members, his 74th cap tonight, set up by Lee Kang-in. His first goal for, count them, 1,172 days, can you believe it? Was on target against Bahrain in the Asian Cup back in January 2024. He's not the headline goal scorer you would expect here. It's quite brilliant in the end from Hwang. So clever. Kept his cool, kept his composure. A little scoop finish. And they're set up for a bit of a grandstand finish here in Guadalajara. He's been crucial to Korea's evening. Hwang In-byum. In fact, those two combining, Lee Kang-in, who's brought the invention, brought the little sparkle. Hwang In-byum, who's touched the ball more than anyone else tonight. Has completed more successful passes than anyone else tonight. We've got 18 minutes plus change, whatever the officials decide to add on. Game, you cannot take your eyes off here. Long from Kim Seung-yu. If you're listening to us from this evening, whether you're tuning in from Seoul, listening in the early hours of the morning in Europe, maybe even Prague, really thank you for joining us for this unofficial, independently produced off-tube commentary of this Group A clash. The globe's biggest stage of international football. It's a frustrating little barge from Kolopek on Hwang Hee-chan. Sure you are aware, but if you want to, you will be able to watch this game from your local broadcaster if you are able to do so. Why not watch along as you listen to us tonight? Touch from Kang-in Lee, who was scored as he released the ball. Can you believe it? There's not been a single yellow card tonight. Lovely from Kang-in Lee, who The aerial ball, he swiveled on it with his left foot, opened his body, it was caught by Ladislav Krejci. The form shown tonight by Lee Kang-in shows just the strength and depth that Paris Saint-Germain have. He's got 2 Champions League medals. In career number 19. Some touches and passes. We've seen the assist for Fabien Bion. Didn't play another of the 2 finals of the PSG won over the past 2 years, but left them on the periphery. Yes, superb gift. Just to underline that point, with 28 Ligue 1 appearances this season, started 19 times for Paris Saint-Germain. Just have to compete with some real stars in that side, doesn't he? Like Kucha Kvaratskhelia and Ousmane Dembele, Bradley Barker, Desiree Doué. The list goes on and on. Some of them will be featuring at this tournament later on in the coming days and weeks. France counted amongst the favourites, Spain too, of course. But none of these sides have aspirations to go on and lift the trophy later on in the tournament. They're making a real good account of themselves here. It's going to be a free kick for the Czechs in a dangerous position, just outside the box towards the left-hand side. Sanilek and Sofal both standing over it. The added advantage of 6'6" Thomas Crawley. Owing to the Czech numbers inside the Korean penalty area here. He really does stick out. He's at the back post here, towering over many in front of him. Sanilek's ball. There's the header! And the Czechs take the lead again! It's Thomas Souček! The flag is up. It looked like he stole a yard on the Korean back line. We'll have a look. He's offside. It's a brilliant ball. Never gets back on side as Thomas Souček. Well, no surprises from either of these 2 teams. Another set piece, another brilliant delivery. And what the Czechs thought was another goal. Long from Kim Sing-gyu. Here's Lee Kang-in, far side, decent footwork into the penalty area. Lee Kang-in twisting, turning across the back line towards the far side. It'll be kept in play by Yeom Ji-sung. Here he is. To the byline, hangs it towards the back post, taken down. Kang-in Lee, and that one is eventually held on to by Kovar. Well, as we predicted, as the game wears towards its conclusion, despite the fresh legs on the pitch, it really has started to get stretched. End-to-end stuff now. Kovar. The attempt is flickled by Sadler. Only finds Lee Gi-hyuk. Here's Peik. Over the top, maybe an opportunity here. Into the near post! There's the finish for South Korea! It's so! Ocean Q gives Korea the lead! To turn the game on its head. Moments after the Czechs had one chalked off for offside. It looks like South Korea have beaten the trap, and it's the substitute, Ocean Q. It's swinging beyond. What a game he's had. Found himself on the right wing. A perfect cutback. Ocean Q lets it right across his body, uses his left foot to guide it onto the right arm of Kovar. It just flicks off the tip of his fingers, nestles in the back of the net. And South Korea lead by 2-1. It's goal number 21 for the season for Ocean Q. The Besiktas centre forward. Peik Sung-ho gets back to his feet, encouraged there by Vladimir Sofal. Launches it again. Problems to deal with, what a save! It dropped to the back post for Hlozek. Kim Seung-kyu came out of nowhere to deny him. Adam Hlozek surely thought that was 2-2. Another brilliant throw from Vladimir Sofal causes chaos in the South Korean defensive ranks. Sadilek. That'll be a free kick. Holding by Krejci, says the referee. Have a look at that from Adam Hlozek. It just bounces as well. Off Sol Hyung-woo. Goalkeeper gets across and he's done brilliantly. South Korea preparing two more changes, but first they've got another attacking move down the right-hand side. It ends up with a throw-in. Oh, it's undoubtedly the man of the match, Hwang In-byom, who will depart. He's been superb from start to finish, as is his partner Peik Sung-ho. On comes Kim Jin-hyu and Park Jin-seop as well. So they're going to respond with a change of their own here as well. Alexander Soika, Victoria Pilsen midfielder, departs. And taking his place, Moynier Sheffield. Trying to Corey. Sadilek standing over the free kick out on the left-hand side halfway. High line from South Korea towards the right-hand side. Corey wins that above two Korea defenders. Powered away by Lee Hyuk. Step forward again. Here's Sofal. Kalopek. Planets. Towards the 18-yard box. Stumped away by Lee Han-pyong. Here's Fang Hee-chan. Ji Seung-yeon. Left-hand side here. Couldn't keep it in play. It's an eventful start to this tournament. Mexico picking up the first win. 3 red cards in that one. This game was always going to be a tight one, and it's proved to be so. Kichil will chase. Using you, made it safe. Here's Xiol. Kim Min-jae. Oh, that was almost a Holly. Here's Fang Hee-chan on halfway. Lee Hyuk. Kim Min-jae. Hyun-gyu. Goalkeeper Kim. Bounces off the forehead of Sadilek. Seung-gyu Kim. Forward, by Krejci. Oh, got it off to Lee Kang-in. On the right-hand side. Still off to Son Woo. Park. Kim Min-jae. That's given away, a loose pass, and maybe a chance for the Czechs to capitalise, but it's good work from Fang Hee-chan to get in the way of the forward pass. And now here is Ji-sung. Fang Hee-chan, left corner of the penalty area. Fang Hee-chan shifts it back onto his right, then his left again. He just took too much time, and they get it away. Here's Sofal. Calling to Sofal again. Sochek. Krejci, left-hand side. Zeleny. Sadilek. Sofal. Kalopek. Planach. Kalopek. Sofal. Still to chase. "30 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. Nervous energy. And Hong Yung-bo. Moving to 6 minutes. By time. Come forward by Halopek. Won't find his mark. It was aimed towards that far side, bounces away from Vlozek. Imagine Mexico and South Africa are going to sit up and take notice. From Lee Han-bom. It goes to Brown. He's the judge to have fouled this man. Park Jin Seok. Into the penalty area. They've got a flick on it through Mo Xing-gyu. Miroslav Kubek is running around in his technical area, hands on his hips. He's a little concerned. This would have been one of the tougher tests his side are going to face in this tournament. Not necessarily the opposition, but certainly the conditions. That's away. Here's Vlozek. Shishil. The pullback, another good save. Here was Sadilek. And it's held onto by Kim Seung-gyu. Just slices it ever so slightly, Mikhail Sadilek. Lee Kang-in escaping in the middle of the park here. All those brilliant moments for Korea. They've had to rely on their goalkeeper for a couple of moments of brilliance of his own. Maybe a chance to seal it now for Korea. Edge of the box, and probably the wrong choice from Kim Jin-gyu. Hori, nice little touch. Now Shishil. Over the ball, Sadilek across the face of goal. He was attacked by Vlozek at the back post. And Lee Han-bom wins the goal kick off of Yaroslav Zeleny. Long from Kovar. Holly with the flick on. That's a foul on Kim Jin-gyu on the edge of the penalty area, and the arms thrust up in the air from Thomas Holly in frustration. Kim Jin-gyu will launch this away. Well, another player on the far side for the Czechs, thrown in the left back position. Flipped on by Stochek. Zeleny away. A free kick for Czech Republic in the dying seconds, 30 seconds left. And the first yellow card of the game. Pumped forward, it's over Hori. One final chance. Edge of the penalty area. Just got away from Lozek. Karlopek sliding in, edge of the box. It's cleared away, but the referee blows the whistle. A monumental second half turnaround sees South Korea take a massive victory in their tournament opener against Czechia. A physical, draining first 45 minutes left us in a stalemate at the break when it was Czechia who shattered the deadlock in the 58th minute. That direct philosophy validated so far with the trademark long throw. The captain Ladislav Krejci with a bullet header thumped one home. But that goal seemed to jolt the Taeguk Warriors back into life. Hwang In-byum produced a moment of individual genius.
Hi there. Feel free to enter your text here.
Stopping the ball dead before lifting a delicate chip finish over the keeper to equalise.
Group A is on fire. South Korea versus Czechia. And what a thriller it turned into.
79th minute.
First half, Korea dominates, but Czechia
sliding one across the penalty area to set up Oh Hyun-gyu, who scrapped time a left-footed finish. It was pure tactical drama, a clash of styles. The physicality and the set-piece dominance of the Czechs against the intricate attacking football of South Korea. And in the end,